Welcome back to Ferrigno Freedom Channel. I'm Dante Ferrigno, and I have been on a carnivore diet known as the lion diet now for over 4.5 years, and it has changed my health in ways that you just wouldn't believe. And if you're interested in knowing more about that, I encourage you to go back and check out my very first video, 125 Days on Lion Diet, where it really shows the change that occurred. But the fact that I've been able to maintain this over 4.5 years and continue on this way of eating has just been amazing. And today I'm going to be making something for the first time that I've never made before, because we're in a different place. We're at an Airbnb right now, and we're celebrating my wife's birthday. So I decided to introduce a lot of my family who doesn't eat a carnivore way of eating to some meat that I've heard is fantastic from my rancher. He says he makes this all the time. It's beef shanks, also known in the Italian as Osso Buco. So this will be my first try at it, and it takes a couple of hours. So I'm going to do a sear in the pan, and then I'm going to cook it in the oven for a couple hours, and we're going to see how these beef shanks come out. So here I salted them in the refrigerator with Redmond smoked salt yesterday, just on one side, because I want to let them sit for a little while at room temperature. So when I go to sear them, they're perfectly ready for searing, and I'm going to add some salt to the other side now too. I've noticed that when I leave them in the refrigerator overnight with the salt, that you lose some of the flavor that you get. So that's why I like to add a little bit just before I get ready to cook, about an hour beforehand. So first we're going to get these all turned over. It was hard to fit them on this tray, so I'm going to have to really finagle to keep them back in place. I'm not going to cook them in this tray though. If I miss one, you guys will be sure to point it out to me in the comments. But the beef shank, as you can tell, is the leg of the cow. It still has the bone in the center, so you get plenty of marrow with a cook like this. And now that I've washed my hands, I'm going to add some more Redmond smoked salt here. This is a coarser grain of salt than your typical fine salt. It's more like kosher cut salt, so it doesn't need quite as much as it would if it was fine. And I put a pretty good bit on yesterday, so I'm trying not to overdo it here. But I think the smoked salt's going to add a wonderful flavor that they're really going to enjoy. All right, it has now been 1.5 hours, so I'm going to start putting a sear on these babies. So I'm going to start off by brushing them with a little bit of tallow. Want to kind of get it on evenly as much as I can, so it'll do a good job of crisping the exterior. It's not necessary to do it this way. You could just put the tallow in the pan and let it move around, but I'm experimenting and having fun. And now we'll start to heat up this burner here. Let's make sure we get the right one on. Set it on 4. I'm just going to put a little tallow in the pan too, so I can see as it's getting warm. So we can see as the tallow starts to melt, starting to get a little warm. Cast iron for me is so difficult to regulate heat. That's why I use a lower temperature, because I've always seen that it tends to get plenty hot. All right, so I've turned the stove up to medium. Instead of being on 4, it's basically on 5. So let's see how we do with getting these babies seared. Oh, I like it. I like that sound already. All right, it's been about a minute on one side. Oh yeah, that's a nice sear. I like that. All right, that's a couple minutes on that side. We'll do the edges now. And it looks like this side could use a little bit more, so I'm going to let it sit on that side a little longer. All right, that's about enough. Don't want to cook them completely. because they still got 2 hours to go in the oven after this. The previous flip was on for 3 minutes. This time they've been on for 2, so I'm going to start searing the sides. All right, these have been on long enough. I'll go ahead and take these ones off now. These were on a little longer than the first ones. We'll do this last batch and try not to leave them on quite as long as that second to last batch. So it's been 2 minutes, or maybe a little less. But they get a good sear in that amount of time. Look at that. So now it's been another 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and do the sides. We're very in the cooking process, but these are already looking fantastic just with the searing job. Now we got to slow cook them so they'll tenderize and they're going to be delicious. Okay, now getting ready for the braising part, I'm going to use one of these tin cooking pans, and I've got a little something they had here at the Airbnb to use to lift up the meat off of the surface so that it's about 1/4 inch off the surface. So when I pour the water in, now I'm going to use water. Some people use beef stock. I don't like the store-bought beef stock because it's got a lot of other ingredients. And I could make my own bone broth, which is fantastic. I just didn't prepare enough for that since this is my first time. The most important thing is having the water in there, because that really is what's going to kind of steam the meat to get it nice and loose. Loose as a goose and juicy. So the water is just barely touching underneath the meat this way. Hopefully they'll all fit in here. Oh, it's gonna be a tight fit. Needed a bigger pan. Still got 2 pieces left to go here and nowhere to put them. Yeah, I can't squeeze another one in there, so I'm just gonna do the best I can with these, and I'll cook those additionally maybe in the air fryer and see what happens. Covered nicely with tin foil. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees, so as soon as it's ready, I'm going to stick these in for 4 hours. I was interested to see how just searing them, how the meat would be, because I don't mind a rare steak anyway, but I figured it's just going to be not as tender. And I was right, but it's not bad. But like I said, I guess I'll just finish these 2 off in the air fryer on some low setting for a little while and see how it goes. Now the oven is preheated to 350 and we can put these in. So those will be in there for the next 4 hours and we'll see how they come out. Well, I don't know, the experiment with the air fryer may not have been too good. I put them at 300 for 30 minutes thinking that would be fine, considering these are going to be at 350 for 4 hours. But the air fryer is a much more confined space, and these seem to come out really crispy. We'll see how they do. All right, let's give it a try. I can't help but anticipate that it's going to be a little overcooked and also have a toughness to it because of the short amount of time it cooked. So I don't know if you can tell in the lighting in here because I'm not in my normal situation, but it's definitely well done and it's tough. So not a good way to finish off Osso Buco using a air fryer. I'll still eat it, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how it comes out of the oven. Hey fellow carnivores, need a meal that fits your carnivore lifestyle on the go? The Carnivore Bar is it. My favorite is the salted version. Grass-finished beef, tallow, and salt. 0 carbs, high fat, perfect for travel or busy days. Stay true to your carnivore lifestyle by visiting carnivore-bar.com and use my discount code Dante to save 10 to 20% on your order. Now back to the video. While everything's cooking, I get to come down on the river and enjoy myself. That's one of the best parts of oven cooking, is you can get some stuff done while you're waiting on your food to cook. All right, let's take a look at what we got. It's been 4 hours. I need something to grab this with. Oh, good, they got pot holders in here. Awesome. That's the nice thing about Airbnbs. They usually got the stuff you need. I love it. Oh my goodness, look how dark they come out. Oh, they look good, man. Take a look at that. All right, well, one thing left to do is to get one and try it out. Oh my goodness, it's so soft, it falls apart before I can get it off the thing. Man, that's tender. Look at that. It just literally falls apart. All right, well, let's check it out. The tenderness is excellent. It's juicy. It's delicious. There's no sign of toughness left in this meat at all. And then in the juices here, we've got a lot of the bone marrow because it cooks through the bone like it did on this one, and winds up down inside the juices, but there's still a little bit of bone marrow in there that you can dig out and put it on top of your meat, and it's just like beefy butter. So there's a piece with a little bit of bone marrow on top, and let's see what some of the family thinks. All right, yeah, I'll cut you a piece.
How do you like it?
I think it's amazing. I can't believe how tender it came out.
Awesome.
I mean, it just falls apart when I pick it up.
Wow. It's like a roast.
Yeah.
It's like a crock pot roast, almost.
Yeah.
Very good. Very tender. Very good. Thank you, baby. Mm.
Well, that's one opinion. Levi, you want to come try this?
Sure.
It's hot. Can you use your water, please? Need salt.
Needs more salt still? I added some.
It's good though. There's still any marrow left, or is it?
Yeah, I can get you some marrow. Try another piece. Blow on it this time. There's no marrow on that one.
That's better. That's good.
Here's some bone marrow for you.
Oh, bone marrow is so good.
Might be hot. So what do you say?
That's good.
All right. So there you have it. Beef shank is a hit, and it's an inexpensive cut, so if you can get it from your local butcher or your local processing shop, then it shouldn't be on the very pricey side, and it's a delicious meal. It's a wonderful cook, wonderfully easy to cook, and I'm enjoying it. My thanks to Jeff over at Big Mo Cattle for giving me the recipe on how he does his Osso Buco. Now, it's often done with a bunch of vegetables and spices and things like that, but I did a lion diet versions for those of you who are on carnivore and who are trying to overcome gut problems like I have. I have found that I can now have some spices, but I'm so used to not having them, I really don't miss them all that much. I enjoy them just with salt, and everybody else seems to love the meat with that natural flavor. And that's it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?